Hi guys, browsing in Poundland today. Picked up this one. I've actually got one already, but I picked this up because I was looking at it and thinking those are rather nice strips of cob lights. I'll just switch it on, it is a bit bright. Yeah. I was wondering if I could get it apart and maybe use those strips on the rock crawler, because the other day I just taped these Poundland torches on there. They've got 9 LEDs in each one, and I actually used them trying to film underwater. I had 4 of them spread out. Didn't help, but it was a cheap way of trying it. Anyway, back to this. It's got this plastic strip of fake lights there, and I just wondered whether we could actually have 1 or 2 of those strips there, if we can get them out, mount them there and just run them off, either directly off the existing battery, which is a 2S, which will be too much, or I do actually have a little plug-in thing for the receiver that allows you to run LED lights off the receiver, so you can switch them on and off. This runs on 3 AA batteries, so 1.5 AAA batteries, 1.5, 3, 4.5 volts at the moment. I'm not quite sure how we get it apart. I don't think there's any screws in it. There's a couple of screws just there, but I think they hold the circuit board in place. In fact, I think they hold the switch in place. So the question is, can we encourage it to come apart? I expect Big Clive has done this already. He manages to get most Poundland items apart. Oh, that's coming apart easily, isn't it? Not glued. We are going to have to undo those screws, aren't we? Don't think. Oh yeah, that's got a sharp enough point to get in there. I was just holding the plate in place, but that does mean we've got access now. Yeah, 2 strips of cob lights. Nice big resistor. Why has it got 2 wires up there? Might have to go and have a look at Big Clive's videos, see if he has taken one of these apart and done a reverse engineering on it. Coming apart easy enough. Yeah, we've got plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. That minus is wired to that minus, and that plus is wired to that plus, so they're not in any sort of in and out mode, they're just going straight through and straight through. So can we just run that straight off a, well, it'd be a 1S LiPo really, 2S would be 7 and a bit volts, wouldn't it? So we could try it on a 1S. Or I could dig out the little radio control item switch and see if we can run it off that. But that's nice, that's a nice little strip, isn't it? Just unplug the charger. Okay. You can have that strip straight across there, and that would do the job. You can even mount one on the back, so you've got lights front and back. Right, well, I'm actually going to stop now. I'm not going to go any further for a minute. Oh. Just spotted something else. My back bit there's somehow come out of the little socket it goes into. That might explain why it was having some trouble the other day when I was trying to get it to go over things. Right, okay, I will continue this video later. I just wanted to get it apart and see whether it would be a feasible option, and the answer is yes. That costs £2, which may or may not be a good deal, but it's certainly handy if you want one quickly. Just pop into Poundland and get it. Well, that was a bit of a 1 step forwards and 2 steps back. That's the little radio control unit for lighting LEDs, and it actually says on it in 2S to 4S, and then LEDs, it just says 3 amps. What I didn't think to do was actually check the output. It should have been a bit of a hint when I actually tried it like this. It came like this with 2 LEDs in there, and only one of them was working, and it wasn't working very well. Well, cut a long story short, plugged them in, they came up very bright and died. So obviously the output from there was more than these could handle, which is a shame. I might go and buy another one of those lights and try it again, but I tried it with the 2S, which was probably a bad idea, but it did say 2S to 4S. I tried it afterwards with just a 1S, which is laying here somewhere. Yes, it is a bit of a big 1S, but it's a 1S. Where are we? Oh yeah. Pull that out of there. Put that in there. Stick that in there. You see, we've got a bit of one of them left. Just a tiny bit of a glow. I did manage to get one of the other ones to light up a bit at one time. But that's the remains, it's dead. So, yeah, I might try it again, but I won't try plugging a 2S LiPo into it straight away. So instead of that, I did buy a couple of these at the same time as buying that light switch. These have a single cob on the back and run off 2 CR2032 button cells. So I've cut one of them up, extended the wires on it. This is a bit bright. There we go. It has 3 settings: bright, not so bright, and flashing. The aluminium backing does get hot. I've used is it Captan tape, which I bought for doing LiPo batteries. that is heat resistant, so it'll be fine wrapped around there. So I've still got the little plastic cover on it, which is on there to protect it, because those cob lights, whatever I did with it, they're very soft. You can dig your nail into it and break it. So I thought it'd be a good idea to keep the plastic cover on there. And as I've just shown you, I don't know if you can see, but it's a little bit orange at either end, which is because it's shining through the captan tape. I've left the middle clear. So what I should be able to do quite easily is stick this through here, because this is only a sort of a bodge, so I can play with it with lights on. And so that will sit like that. And rather than running it off the LiPo battery in the car, I can run it off that. This is just for running it around in the garden, or, well, I suppose in the woods. I just thought it'd be a fun way of doing it. Yeah, I don't think we'll have the flashing LED though. So, there we go. So I will have another go at doing that, because I did have it rigged up. I had 2 plugs, because this thing has 2 outputs, but it all went horribly wrong. So we'll have a go at that again some other time. Thanks for watching. If you like that, then you might like this. And if you like this and that, you might like to subscribe over there.